you create your own reality. Who is that version of me that achieves that vision? Believe it until you become it. Most people say fake it till you make it. I'm like, no, it's not faking it. It's becoming it. It's belief. It's embodiment. You have to like see that version of yourself. I saw Baddie Li on stage. I saw Baddie Li dancing, and I'm like, but I saw her, that version of me, level of confidence, the like clothes. I'm like, I gotta level up my fashion. I gotta level up like.
You did it.
And I just was like, okay, we're ready to become.
A bad bitch takes charge of her body, her boundaries, and her bank account.
Baddie Li. Yeah.
I'm serving cunt, serving bad bitch. I'll eat you alive. My energy's savage. Don't you ever try to play me for a fool like it don't do damage.
Damage. This, that, new.
All right, bad bitches. All right, bad bitches. Welcome back to the Bad Bitch Empire. This is Baddie Li, and I'm so excited to talk to you guys today about my new era as a rapper, a singer, a musical artist, a dancer. As I shared a few months ago, I moved to LA to pursue this creative dream of becoming a musical artist. And it's been a few months, and I've just dropped my debut single, New Money. And today I'm going to be talking about how to really step into your creative dreams, overcome those limiting beliefs around identity, truly embodying your baddest, most powerful, most authentic self. And I'm here with my friend Aurora, who was there for me when I was birthing Baddie Li, and really actually on the birthday of Baddie Li when the debut track New Money dropped.
Yeah.
And it's been such a roller coaster ride of really figuring out how to embody this artistic side of myself since being in my business professional life for so long. And we're going to have a conversation about that. So Aurora, introduce yourself.
Oh yeah, I'm feeling the energy from you, girl. I'm feeling it. I'm living it. I'm Aurora. I am a tech founder. I'm building a lifestyle brand for highly sensitive people. And I'm also in both the tech world and the creative realm, which is why I was so drawn to coming to your first event during Tech Week. One, both meeting women in tech, but two, like seeing this like boundary and how a woman is going to go between the confines and lines between being in both those worlds and being successful at it. So I'm excited to be here today. And I understand it's one of the first, it's been a while since an episode, right? And you'd be talking about this.
Yeah, it's been, during this time, I've been really focused on the music and birthing the music, really creating something that spoke my entire heart and soul and like really shared that experience. And I've realized that switching back and forth between like the rigid business logical brain and the like creative, expansive, artistic, sensitive self that can really allow like all parts of myself to exist, I had to really just do it for myself, for the music. The word transformation, evolution, I always talk about eras. I feel like I'm leaping into different eras so quickly because the first part of my life, I guess, was as a US champion gymnast, turned hedge fund analyst on Wall Street, turned serial entrepreneur with Exit, turned venture capitalist, turned author, turned rapper, turn, all the directions. Yeah. But I feel like everything was a step towards discovering who my most powerful and authentic self truly was. And I remember many, many years ago, I was talking to one of my friends and we were having a conversation. This is when I was still working on Wall Street. And we were talking about, what do you think the other person would be if we didn't have to succumb to the capitalistic business world? And she said, I think you would be an artist.
Wow.
And I'm like, what kind of artist? Like, I'm not a painter. It never crossed my mind that I would be a rapper.
And I also feel like there's a line between being an entrepreneur, you pitch a lot, it's constantly a social situation that you're going into and somewhat performing.
So as a chronic overthinker and perfectionist and high achiever, one of the things that anyone who's like that doesn't do very often is listen to their heart and really listen to, what does my heart really want? What am I really feeling? And every time I've made a move, it's because my heart is finally feeling something that like, and it's speaking up, and it's saying that, you know, this doesn't feel good anymore. This is something that like my body doesn't feel good in this. My soul and my spirit feels misaligned here. And that's the same feeling you get whether it's, this job is no longer working for me. You know, this environment, I feel like I have to move. This relationship, I feel like it's not working and I need to move on. And I think the same thing for me. It's like, this version of me is no longer serving me anymore. And the challenge is, but who is the next version of me? I don't know. And that's the really scary part, because it wasn't like I logically thought my way to becoming a rapper. And so the way that I ended up getting into music was total serendipity. And it was, of all places, at an investment conference, at a family office conference. So I've been speaking at many investment conferences representing the Bad Bitch Empire. And at that event, there was me with my Bad Bitch Business Bible. And then there was this very well-dressed man, and he had this cowboy hat on. And I started talking to him, and we were the most fashionable people at that conference by far. And he said he worked in music.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, that's cool. And he told me that he produced some pretty big names. And I said, oh, I always joked that Bad Bitch Empire sounded less like a venture fund and more like a rap hip hop album.
Okay.
And he said, do you rap? And in that moment, I said, I could. And I looked him straight in the eye and I said, I could. And he said, okay, have you ever been in a music studio? And I said, I've been in a podcast studio. And he said, okay. And that was the moment that I pitched myself. And I think that was where the universe came in and was like, this is your moment. And I said, you know, I was a competitive athlete. I was a hip hop dancer. I've got rhythm. I'm a great public speaker.
Yeah.
I've done slam poetry. I know how to use my voice. And here I have my book of 200 plus pages of words that I wrote myself with a clear message, a clear mission. And I feel that you could just throw this onto a beat and you got a rap. Got new money. And yeah, and he invited me to his music studio and he said, okay, let's give it a go. And next thing I knew, I got an album.
Yeah. You know, when I think about artists, a lot of them tend to actually be very sensitive. You can have a regulated, sensitive artist that's like showing their work and is not completely drawn side to side. Like maybe like we talked about like Madonna. And I
It was one of my
see her
inspirations.
in you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when I see artists, I see them as like maybe being way more prone to that. So I'm curious to know, like, you also, as using that sensitivity, you can also create such music that is profound to yourself. And it shows in, because it's part of who you are. And it also has a huge impact on people, probably at a larger rate than other music that's not like that. So have you seen like that level of like your sensitive traits also cater in like, you know, how you deeply notice and feel, overthink, maybe when you did take things personally, and channel that into your art and the way that you make it even? Yeah.
I feel like the full range of music that I've created. So right now I've only released one song, New Money, which was like, came out strong with Servant Cunt and Bad Bitch.
I blast it in the car all the time, guys.
But there's a whole repertoire of, there's singing songs, there's soft songs, there's a self-love song, there's chill rap, you know, there's relationship songs. There's so many different types of songs and even kind of genres. And when people have listened to all of them, they're like, oh, so are you still trying to figure out your style? Are you going to choose one? And I'm like, well, I think the whole, it's not like I'm 24/7, like, you know, some artists, like when I look at Cardi B, I'm like, she's 24/7. It seems like she's always, you know, like that kind of energy.
Yeah.
I'm like, not.
Yeah.
When I'm high energy, I'm very high energy. And when I'm chill, I'm very, very chill. And I want my own space. You know, I want to just chill. And I can be very powerful and assertive.
Yeah.
And I can also be like in my soft, sensitive era and like literally switch from moment to moment. And I'm like, that the whole point of me creating this range of music is to showcase like the multidimensionality of being a woman, of being a human. And I think so many people want to put people, and I think even artists, like in a box, like choose the genre, choose either you're only a rapper and you're a hardcore rapper and you're hood and like, or you're, you know, Ariana Grande kind of singing. And in the beginning, actually, this is really interesting. So when I was first getting into the music studio and I was still really shy and like unsure about myself as a rapper, and people were like, you need to sound less smart. You need to dumb yourself down. Yeah. You need to practice sounding more hood if you want to be a rapper. And I'm like, but I'm not. And I am smart. Yeah. Like, I'm not from the hood. I'm never gonna be from the hood. Yeah. Like, I am a Chinese American girl who's a daughter of immigrants who has my own struggles that honestly haven't been represented by rap at all. And what about like all of the women who are just working their asses off trying to make it? Yeah. Yeah. In every field, who are trying to survive in male-dominated industries. Like, why, like a lot of them don't resonate with hood rap either. And maybe it's time that you have like intelligent, feminine, power-driven rap. You know, that talks about something more than just partying and a guy breaking up with them or something.
Yeah, I told you this when I first met you. I was like, I'm so excited for your music that's going to teach me all about entrepreneurship. Like, I remember when I first got started with it, I was learning like Tam, Sam, Psalm. I'm like, these are all very, you could totally rap with those words. Yeah. Sorry to cut you off. Yeah. But. So what do you think about the performance? So they're basically asking you like, how can they market you, right? And you're staying true to yourself. Yeah. Following with love. And it sounds like maybe there's a white space.
There is.
For that. But how do you banter and have those conversations and be like, well, I might not seem marketable to you, but I know how I am and this is the white space. How do you have that conversation?
Well, it is kind of like pitching your startup, right? You're like, this is the competitive white space, right? And I always say like, name one top 10 Asian female rapper you can think of off the top of your head from America, not K-pop, not, you know, anything else.
Yeah. Okay.
And
what's the common response?
No, they can't. And there was one guy. There's one guy who like named some obscure woman in San Francisco. Yeah. No hate, but I was like, well, that's kind of the point. Like, you have to struggle to figure it out and find one. And I'm like, do you know how big the Asian, South Asian, Indian, like just brunette immigrant community is? Yeah. And it's like, it's massive. Yeah. And they're not represented at all in a lot of music, actually in a lot of culture. I think right now there's a growth of, you know, Asian influence in pop culture, but it's in music too. But it's only just started.
So do you see yourself catering and helping to transform those young females, women that came from a similar background like you, that were perfectionists or trying to just be a good girl, essentially, through your music?
I think just by nature of who I am and my background, there will be people who see similarities in my background of working really hard, getting good grades in school, you know, doing the right thing, being obedient, getting a good job, working hard in male-dominated industries, like trying to assert your value and like get paid your worth, and then see someone like me go do a 180 into, let's say, the biggest nightmare of a immigrant parents, which is like be an artist. And to say, wow, if she can have the confidence to do that, and she can, you know, rap like that, maybe I can too. Or, whatever version of your creative dream is.
Okay. So talk to me about, you said earlier the birth of Baddie Li, right, has a different birthday than you. So I'm curious, like, are you performing this new character, or is it really a true embodiment of you? And talk me through like what that means to you to even create that storyline as well. That just sounds very like deep thinking on both, not just logical, but also in a heart.
October 24th was the day my debut single came out into the world, was birthed into the world officially on Spotify, Apple Music, and everywhere else. And I was like, okay, this is a big deal. And one of the commandments in the Bad Bitch Business Bible is a bad bitch owns her wins. I'm notoriously still struggling and not that great at owning my wins, as a lot of high achieving women also struggle with. And I was like, I'm gonna make it a big deal for me because it is the birthday when Baddie Li comes out publicly. I feel like, to me, when I step into Baddie Li, it's the version of me that launched the Bad Bitch Empire. That had the audacity to do that. In this case, had the audacity to say, like, I am gonna be the best fucking rapper. That's the version of like when I'm performing on stage, when I step into like, the flow state. And there is definitely something about, I've realized like why I had that kind of ache in my heart is because how much I love performing on stage. Like, I've been trying to find like, what is my flow state? And I was like, working out, is it, doing different activities? And it's like when I'm on stage, like something switches in my brain and it actually kind of reminds me of gymnastics. So at that first performance that I did in LA at the Mondrian Hotel, beforehand we were having drinks with the girls, and then the host, the MC, he's like, and up next, Baddie Li. And then the moment I heard Baddie Li, I'm like,
I saw you strut.
Yeah. And I was like, on. And then it was just like the full performance. And one of the girls was like, oh my God, it was crazy because you literally became a different person. She was like, you were just so sweet and fun when we were having drinks. And then it's like, and then boom, like I didn't even know that version of you. And that version was just like, the confidence, no fucks given, like we're taking up space on stage and like icon. And I feel like when I was a gymnast, it was always the practice, 10,000 hours of up next, Lisa Wang from the United States of America. And then you'd like salute and then you'd walk and you'd pose and the music would start and then it's like on.
Yeah.
Every muscle memory, like everything that you've practiced for, it's like in those few minutes that you're on the stage, on the mat, it's like, it's go time.
But that's less flow. Is that more like everything is supposed to be as it is? Or do you still do that and you're performing as Baddie Li?
I now have, when I did that performance, I didn't have choreography. So I was just like moving with the song. Yeah. I will, in my next upcoming show at Art Basel in Miami, I have just spent the last week choreographing almost every step of the performance with backup dancers. And so that's going to be like, again, more of an actual choreographed show, but it's still like, it definitely is being in flow where you're like, because then your muscle memory takes over. And it's like, because you don't even have to think as much about what your body's doing. You just get to feel the music and then like let your body carry you.
And you can mess up and no one's going to tell you like minus whatever, like 8, whatever. Yeah. We'll be up there with 10s in the front row. I want to get into the mindset that you had and the mindset and the message of New Money. When you wrote it, what were you really trying to say with that song?
It goes like, I got that money. I got that money.
I'm hearing money a lot.
I got that fucking money. And it's like, go get that money, and it's about unapologetically owning your worth, asserting your value, getting paid your value, and this good girl tendency that so many of us have of being afraid to ask for more. And like the whole attitude of the song is so unapologetic about like, Baddie made an entrance and the game changed and got the men fucked up because they can't play the same game. And for me, it's about instilling that confidence in women, like thinking about every time you walk into a meeting, a negotiation, like you have unique powers as a woman and unique skill sets that you bring to the table. And so like when you walk in, you know, like you make the game change and the men can't play the same game as you. So it's like, what is it about you that makes you powerful in this particular situation? So focusing on your own power. And when you do that, the wealth comes, because when you have your worth, the wealth, you know, you're embodying the wealth. And so the song is like, if you listen to it, it can completely shift the frequency of your body, the energy of your body. So I think about it like every time a woman's about to like walk into, you know, something that she wants to crush, like she wants to crush her meeting, her presentation, her interview, or just like crush her work day. And it's like, you know, I'm going to get that fucking money. Like I'm going to make it happen. And, you know, she can put that on and be like, yes, like I got this.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I know we talked about like liking to be around people that have that growth mindset. And it ties with like having a level of gratefulness for the world that we live in and seeing our life with abundance that brings in that money and that extra abundance into your life. I always listen to Hertz. Have you heard that before? Like it's just like a tone. And that's when I need like really more of like a calm vibe, but like frequencies really change how I go about my day as well. So I could totally see how, you know, having almost a mantra of that through your song with those frequencies can really hit someone and change the way that they live their life.
And so many women are still given this message that it's selfish or it's greedy to want more money. And this song, New Money, completely turns it on its head, because it's like, no, I got it.
Yeah.
And then there's a part of it where it's like, you know, tell the man to get on his knees and watch me work. And then there's like a little whip sound. So that's like, and then that whip is like, go get that money. You know, it's like actually, you know, you make your own money and also like, you know, get a man who works for you too.
Okay. So I also think about like this idea of shadow versus light that's seen both in the entertainment industry, just seen in our world really. And I like this idea of like being a light creator. So, and I think that art, one of the things that art can do is help wake up humanity. So how do you see your music doing that? Does it wake people up, especially in a culture that's also so superficial that it just gets excited about the idea of just money, 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 but it's like has a deeper.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like everything about the way that I've like the choice of this first song, like coming out straight out of the gate with Serving Cunt.
Yeah.
It is definitely provocative.
It turns heads. Absolutely.
Yes. And again, if this is exactly what happened when I put out the Bad Bitch Business Bible. If people didn't know me, the haters would be like, you know, who is this woman? How dare she use such an inappropriate word in the workplace? And it's like, okay, judge a book by its cover, please, and show your true colors.
Wow.
And that is an example of the armor of self-love, right? To not get affected by someone's judgment of your work and your art, and to say like, I know that my intention for this song was to empower women, to empower the listener. Now, if you're gonna come in and start nitpicking about my use of, oh, this is a bad word. And I'm like, I guarantee you that you're using the word bitch as a derogatory term towards women in your personal life. So like
trade-off. Not really a trade-off actually. It's like
you know, it's so easy for people to make judgments about a powerful woman's voice and anything that women do in media. And for me, like, it would have been much safer, of course, to write like sweet love songs.
Yeah. Which maybe you'll have some.
Yes,
that's nice. It's good for the highly sensitive person.
Yes.
Like I will listen to that.
Sweet love songs. Like I said, I have a really amazing self-love song for women too. But again, I could do like soft, sweet, nice, light, but what people call light feminine. But really for me, that's the like still the wounded feminine, the good girl, nice, sweet, for the sake of other people. But a lot of my initial music embodies the dark feminine. And there's a lot of misconceptions of the dark feminine because people typically immediately associate dark with bad, like dark with evil. But dark feminine is where a woman actually harnesses her power. And that is where the rage, the chaos, the anger, the sadness, the pain, all of that becomes alchemized in the dark feminine. And so people who stay in the light because they're afraid of what's inside, like the difficult feelings that are, you know, of the untamed woman or the wild woman, like they never actually get in touch with their true power. And so you can hear in my songs, there's just this like unapologetic power, like get the fuck out of my way, you know? And a lot of people in our patriarchy, like don't like that. They're like, how dare she? How dare she tell me to get out of her way? How dare she be irreverent to societal norms? How dare she use an inappropriate word? And I think it triggers people even more because I am a professional. Like I didn't come from the hood, but it's like I am a business person. I'm a venture capitalist. I'm very successful in business. And I can turn that on and then I can turn this side of me on. And you can't put me in a box. And so it's very confusing for people. And so they want to. So they're going to latch on to putting me in a box within like, oh, well, we always love to call women crazy, right, in this society. So it's like, let's put her in that box. And so knowing that there will be some people who will do that, I'm like, you know what? Let's lean the fuck into that. And
right, like a hater is still a fan in a sense.
Yeah. And in the same way, like we talked about like Madonna.
Yeah.
And I think Madonna is someone who was willing to push the norms, right? Push the status quo and was a pioneer in really asserting like feminine power in its kind of untamed essence and in its sexual essence in all of these different ways that really embodied this like dark, wild feminine and was very provocative. And a lot of people were uncomfortable by it. And today it's like, well, she's an icon because she was willing to do what a lot of women deep down want to, which is to be free. And so at the end of the day, I think like the music, what I felt in stepping into being an artist and creating music for the first time was like, I feel so liberated. I feel free in a way that I've never felt free before because I get to express the dark feminine emotion in such like an unfiltered way and it gets to be art.
So you have more music on the way that you've talked a little bit about. Like there's different levels. Maybe you're not like a rapper persona, but you have multiple different boxes you're in. Can you tell us more about the new songs that are coming out?
Yeah. So there's going to be 2 more songs coming out this year. Okay. So we're dripping out the songs. Okay. The next song that's coming out is called Hot Like Wasabi.
Okay. I've heard this one a little bit.
You might have. You might have. I kind of put a sneak peek on Instagram.
Okay.
Yeah. So Hot Like Wasabi is actually the first song that I've made that kind of speaks to being different and especially as a ethnic minority. It talks about being a model minority, you know, as a lot of Asians are taught to be, and really, fuck conformity. And so it's really talking about, it was channeled from when I was younger, growing up in an all-white neighborhood and being made fun of as one of the few Asian kids there and always having this feeling of not belonging. And in this song, it's like literally flips it on its head, which is like the confidence of being different, the confidence of being unique, of fully owning where you come from, where your roots are. Yeah, just being like culturally different.
Okay, so is there something that like sparked it specifically? Anything else you can give us? Like, I don't know, like maybe like emotional life moment specifically or, you know, something that inspired that track?
So one of my favorite parts in the song is about, it started from a conversation that I was having with my friend. And I was saying to her how like, I hate when guys ask me like, where are you from? And I'm like, New York. Like, no, where are you from? And I'm like, New York. And they're like, no. But where are you from? And I'm like, what are you trying to ask me?
At Berkeley, we just say like, what's your ethnicity?
Yeah. And then like, she was like, oh my God, I got that too. Like this guy was like, oh, you're like, where are you from? No, where are you from? And like, and so, so then we were talking about like how annoying that is. And it's always this like straight white dude who's asking the question. Yeah. So in the song, it's like, he said, where are you from? I said, New York. What about you? No, where are you from? How ignorant. Don't you know that's rude? Why is the one always asking this? Some straight white dude. Where are you from, colonizer? You seem confused. So that's gonna
get reactions.
Yeah. So that's a little sneak peek into it.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah.
So I also want to pivot to talking a little bit more about you coming into the spotlight.
Yeah.
As a grounded, regulated artist and very assertive artist as well. So do you have any thoughts on like what it means to come in like that? If there's people around you that aren't at that level, how do you maintain that level of being grounded, assertive in yourself?
Yeah. In terms of like reactions or?
I guess my deeper question is, holding this level of being Baddie Li, do you think that it could drain you, to be that level of performer, to be that way? Because I know you said that you like to have your downtime as well.
Yeah. And I think I have that. I've started to figure out that balance. Because the thing is, I really love like dressing up, performing, going to the dance studio, going to the music studio, and like channeling the artistry. Mm-hmm. And I'm really lucky that I have like an amazing partner who's like able to hold all sides of me. So my husband Mark can like, crazy party with me and like hold that space and make sure that I'm cool there. And then when the moment, I get back and he's like, okay, like let's chill. Let's see how we can, run a hot bath for you and like get you a spa day. Yeah. So I think, another thing even just is like the importance of finding a partner who supports like, for me, like all these sides of me.
Okay, so I'm curious to know, as you step into this new chapter of Baddie Li, what is next for you?
What is next on the immediate horizon is my biggest show yet at Art Basel in Miami. Woo! On December 4th, 2,500 people at M2 Club in Miami. I am performing 3 songs, New Money, Hot Like Wasabi, and Baddie and a Banger. So yeah, first time I'm gonna have like backup dancers. There's like 60 by 80 foot stage, like 70 screens, lights, like all the fixings. And what's crazy for me is also like having manifested that in such a short period of time.
Have you gotten your human design done?
I'm a mental projector.
Okay. What does that mean? I'm a manifesting generator. Okay. I thought you were too. Okay,
I'm a projector, which actually we have supposedly the least amount of energy of most people.
Fascinating. Like, you don't give that to me.
I don't give it.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's probably why I need such like an intense recharge period and that I don't show. Like online, I only show I show the very energetic, like high confidence, high power parts of me. Yeah. And like the quiet parts, I'm like, well, it's just for me. Yeah. I just want to chill. But yeah, like I think I do get tired quite easily. That's like a projector thing. Yeah. And then the thing about the projector is also like the strategy is being invited in. So whereas like manifestors and manifesting generators, they're like, I think they're meant to like go. Yeah. Projectors are meant to be like deeply invited in.
I welcome you in and you'll come. Interesting. Yeah. But you've created for yourself.
I know. So this is also the thing where I'm like, yes, to an extent, but also like what I subscribe to the most is you create your own reality. At the end of the day, like my main strategy has been I have a vision. Yeah. I refine that vision. I decide that that's the vision I want. And I embody that vision. Like, who is that version of me that achieves that vision or like turns that vision into reality? And then I start to become. Believe it until you become it. Most people say fake it till you make it. I'm like, no, it's not faking it. It's becoming it. It's belief. It's embodiment. And so you have to like see that version of yourself. Like I said, I saw Baddie Li on stage and I saw Baddie Li dancing and I'm like, what does that mean? But I saw her, like that version of me, like that level of confidence, the like clothes, the whatever. And I'm like, I gotta level up my fashion. I gotta level up like.
You did it.
I have to, yeah. And I'm like, and I just was like, okay, we're ready to become. And so it was just like step by step of like, what is that version of me do, not do, say, not say, wear, not wear.
Yeah. And this is from not just a logical perspective, but also a heart.
It's a heart. Like the vision creation process can take months, years, but like I spend a lot of time with like, it's, and that vision process is the listening to your heart of in your body of like, why does this, for me, it's always started with like, why does this not feel right? Doesn't feel aligned. Like when I was in Miami for like a year and a half, I was like, this whole city doesn't feel good. It does not feel aligned. And I was like, but I now find that the reason that I was there was so I can meet my husband. And then the moment I met him, I'm like, all right, I'm out.
You're out. That's funny. I was just in Miami and I was like, this is where I meant to be.
Oh, really? And then so it's like, you know, you believe it till you become it. And then once you become that version of yourself that you see in the vision, it's like, then things start happening. Like the reality starts being created and like by you.
Yeah, you met your husband and then it's to move on to the next thing that you're supposed
like
to
even the, I mean, again, like the artist thing, like I said, I didn't logically think my way into becoming a rapper. Like it's still, sometimes it's still kind of funny for me to say that. I'm like, am I a rapper? And I'm like, yes, I am a rapper. I have a rap song out.
Yeah.
So,
I think a lot of people, that's like a preconceived notion, is that it is more logical to get into it. And so it's great to hear that that's how it actually goes down.
Yeah. I mean, call it manifestation. I call it like creating your reality.
Yeah.
And most people don't realize they have the power to create anything that they want. And so if you believe that there is God within me, you know, like I am the creator of my own reality, like everything that is happening is outside of me is a reflection of something that's happening inside of me. So how do I go inward and change something in here so that like the outside begins to reflect that? So if inside I have scarcity, outside's going to have scarcity. If inside I have abundance, you know, and I learned how to not just intellectually understand abundance or joy, but to like, what does that feel like? Because that version of me is like abundant. That version of me is free. That version of me is all of these things. And what do I have to do today to start embodying that version of me? And where people mess up is they start to overthink, okay, I see this vision. Like, I want $1 million. You know, as an example, they're like, I want this. I see the vision. They're like, okay. And then they're like, $1 million for whatever reason. They don't, it's not, whether it's for ego, whether it's for just like materialism or just like wanting to prove something. I don't know, whatever the underlying thing. And they're like, okay, now how should I do that? You know, like how, and you get, if you're doing it for the wrong reasons, like then it becomes very rigid and like you don't actually embody being someone who can receive $1 million.
Yeah.
So it's always like that goes back to the nervous system. It's like whenever I think, okay, but how should I, the should and the how, when you enter the how phase, it stops the visioning. It stops the creative process and the like connection with the universe. So you need to give yourself enough time and space to really like feel into like, what is the most abundant vision? Like, what is the truest vision for me? Who do I have to become to like embody the version of me that can turn that vision into a reality? And then like have like the steps kind of appear as you continue to like stay aligned with that version of yourself.
A lot of learnings. I feel like we could talk for hours. We'll continue to talk for hours, guys.
Yes.
Wow. That's beautiful. The way you talk about your journey really reminds me, again, about the energy of creation and intuition, transformation. That's what we talked a lot about today. And the yin and yang of masculine and feminine. And I think the masculine side I was trying to say is like, that takes technique and discipline almost. And that's kind of how I see it. But, you know, as a woman myself, like we embody both. And then the art is also like imagination and inspiration and the playfulness nature. So then we actually get to live in the flow of life. That's the best.
Yeah, that's the best. It's being a bad bitch.
Yeah. So I really hope that we can continue to normalize this as a blueprint, essentially what you're creating, that you can be strategic and also live in your flow, be soulful, be grounded, also be like wild in a sense, but an intuitive wild. And then as we talked about like sensitivity, being powerful in that, in both the business and the creative worlds.
Yeah.
So
and
thank
then
you. Yeah.
The last thing I'll say is like what has also really helped me is releasing the power that labels have on me, especially professional labels. So one of the things that you'd asked me about is like, you know, holding venture capitalist and entrepreneur and like the business side and the artist side. And one of the things, again, like society really likes to put us in boxes, and the professional world really likes to put your worth into a label. Like, what do you do? I am a consultant. I am a, you know, startup founder of XYZ company.
It makes sense. It's like they're either going to other you or be with you.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
It confuses them.
Yeah. And so
if you don't,
it's always like, what do you do that defines you? For me, it was like learning how to separate from like, okay, I'm the founder of Bad Bitch Empire. I'm in the author of the Bad Bitch Business Bible. I'm the managing partner of the Bad Bitch Empire Fund. Those are all things that I have birthed, that I put a lot of like time and energy and like money into. But are those the totality of me? Like those are, it's almost like, it's again, things that I birthed.
Yeah.
And in this next era, I'm like, I am now birthing music and performance through just a different part of me. But like the moment I tried to be like, I am like just an artist. I am, even like because even when I was like, I am a rapper, I'm like, but that is such a like, that does not encompass who I am.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And like, but it's almost like that's just what people are used to being like, give me the thing that you do. And I'm like, in this current moment, I am promoting my rap song. Yes, because that is one of the things that I birthed. But I'm also a podcaster in this current moment. Now I'm podcasting. And so I think it's been trying to be like, what does multidimensional really mean? It means like I get to be all these things
and be them well.
Yes.
That's the other thing. A lot of people be like, I'm this, and this, and they're not actually like achieving, not that success is everything, but the level of like, you do it well.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I really hope that, you know, the listeners here got to see what that transformational journey is, how to live in that multi-dimensional way of being in life. It is possible. And maybe see part of yourselves in the story that you're creating. And also giving yourself permission to step into the baddie era.
Yeah.
Or, you know, I come from a more like soul sensitive era. So I see it. I'm like feeling it. But, you know, stepping into your sensitivity as well.
Yes. Well, this is just the beginning of this era. And like every time I step into a new era, I'm already envisioning the next. And like,
what's the next one?
We're going big. Okay. We're going really big on Baddie Li and all in. So, I mean, I've only just released one song so far. So there's a lot of songs.
No, but you have a whole album already that you're trickling.
That's in the background. Yeah, like I have songs
This is
ready.
you underselling yourself right now.
Yeah. But no, we'll be selling out arenas, Coachella, all the things.
Knock on wood.
So I'm really excited. Thank you, Aurora, for facilitating this incredible interview and also being there for the birth of Baddie Li and also just like being such an amazing friend, a new friend in LA.
Yeah.
I love what you're working on. And so definitely check out what Aurora's working on for highly sensitive individuals. All right.
It's that new money.
New Money. All right, go check out New Money if you haven't on Spotify. Make sure to follow Baddie Li on Spotify, Apple Music.
Woo! Please check us out at Sensi Living on all platforms. We'd love to hear from anyone who's highly sensitive that resonated with us as well.
And always remember, bad bitches never settle.